something. Tell your homie better chill. He don't ride how we ride for our team, and that's for real. Oh, you said something. When they kick off, he gon' kneel. I don't wanna hear nothing if it ain't about the bills. We'll be running out the tunnel, better stay up on your heels. We might leave your ankles on the field, put you on the real. How you feel? Feel the watch the sweep just like a broom. Hail Mary, and put his GM in a tomb. Make some room, call it timeout, cause they not ready. Think they feeling all the pressure, cause they know I apply it heavy. Try to cover one-on-one, my cuss gon' be too deadly. Have him watching all that film while he's snuggling on his teddy. Man, who let me step up in the game with a mindset of making sure I'm heard? No point intended, it ain't time yet. When it is, I bet you know, don't fix your legs to come around me. If you acting all scary in the snow, oh, you said
Bet
something.
online
Tell
is the
your homie
fastest
better
and
chill.
easiest
He
way to
don't
wager
ride how we
on
ride
all
for
your
our
favorite
team,
sports
and that's for
contests
real.
and
Oh, you
events
said
with
something.
first to market odds
Kick
and
off, he
odds.
gon'
Now,
kneel. I
live
don't wanna
reviews
hear
and
nothing
news
if
for
it ain't
every
about
league,
the
including
bills.
Major
Oh, you
League
said
Baseball,
something.
NFL,
Tell your
NBA,
homie better
NHL,
chill. He
combat
don't
sports,
ride how we ride
esports,
for our
and
team, and
even
that's for
golf.
real. Oh, you
Bet
said
Online
something.
continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now Bet Online is where the game starts.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of BLEAV in Bills. I'm Justice General Radford, and I'm joined as always by the legend in two games, Coach Mookie Hawkins in the building. What's going on, Coach? How you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. It's a good day to get that 2 seat.
Your day to go ahead and get that 2 seed.
Good day for it.
Big game today. All right, biggest game of the season, and I know every game is the biggest game of the season. I know that, but this is really the biggest game of the season. You know what I mean? This is for all the marbles, as they say, right? Buffalo Bills get to either be the 2 seed, or the way it's shaking, the way it's looking, is either that or they're going to be going home. Now, they have the benefit of playing a team that they have whooped on. I mean, to be quite frank, right? Like, to be literal, they beat Miami, and they usually beat them bad. But again, it's any given Sunday. Miami's going to be just as motivated as the Bills. Miami did have an opportunity for a 1 seed, though, and they fumbled that. So we'll see what happens this week. What are your thoughts on this game? What do you think is going to happen here?
What I think is going to happen. First of all, I mean, we're going to know come 4 o'clock after this Jacksonville game, where the Bills, playoff chances really lies and where it's going to be at. If Jacksonville loses, then hell, Bills just clinch a playoff spot automatically. But I'm playing to win. You know what I mean? You got to play to win to assure that yourself will be where you need to be. You could be as high as a 2 seed. If that doesn't motivate you, especially with what this team has gone through over the past month, where they were last month, and you have a chance to finish out top 2 in the conference, go ahead and get that. And, I mean, again, we talked about it earlier this week. Injuries versus urgency. This is an urgent Bills team. They must be playing with urgency today to make sure that they lock in that number 2 spot. So, that's where it's all about. We know the Dolphins are dealing with hella injuries. Mostert is not going to play. Waddle is not going to play. Xavier Howard has already been ruled out. They're just banged up. Tua's banged up. Dolphins got guys on the O-line that's banged up. So, hey, I don't want to say kick a person when they down, but this is the time to kick a person when they're down. You know what I mean? So the Bills relatively healthy, so advantage Buffalo in that regard. So they should go ahead, take care of business. Do not play with this Dolphins team. Be aggressive from start to finish. Punch the Dolphins in the mouth early, see if they can withstand it. and then maybe Coach McDaniel will back off because they're already in the playoffs, right? So he can't afford to get anybody else injured, right? So the Bills need to just go ahead and take care of business, cement this win, become the 2 seed, control your destiny that way. And who knows, the route to the Super Bowl can go through Highmark if Baltimore have been careful.
Now, those of you that are fans of the multiverse, this is where it all starts, right? This is, 2 seed, and you possibly host all the way throughout the playoffs. There's not a horrible chance at that.
I mean, there's so many scenarios, though.
Yeah.
There's so many scenarios we look at it.
If you the 2 seed, Baltimore could slip up at some point, and now you hosting the
Some
AFC
point,
game.
Guess what? If the Bills become the 2 seed, Houston is the 7 seed. And Houston is a scary ass 7 seed. I'm telling you that right now. That'll be a scary opponent for Baltimore. I'll tell you that right now. That will be a scary opponent for Baltimore. So
all right,
let's go ahead and take care of business.
So then looking at it, Coach, I mean, all right, first before I ask that, let me jump back a little bit, right? Because you feel like we're gonna win, we're gonna get this 2 seed, right? What is going to be the method in making this happen, right? Because you are Mr. James Cook run the ball. Let James cook, right? You're the poster child for it. You started the movement before it was even popular, right?
Yeah, well, you got to run the ball, man.
Do they need to follow it off of James Cook today, or do they need to let Josh take over, start the game out, and kind of put points on the board?
Well, I mean, Josh always have these crazy games against Miami. So I'm guessing is if that part of it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to throw the ball all over the yard, but it would be wonderful if we can have that balance. We have not had that balance since Dallas. All right, James Cook's barely been involved in the offense since Dallas. Now, yeah, he's been getting his carries. But how he's been getting them, same play calls, nothing really new to spin off what he did versus that Cowboys team. I don't see anything different. Again, that's what made me ask Coach Brady, when teams get booked on you, how do you adjust to set up what you do consistently? You know what I mean? So, I mean, no tricks up the sleeve. You got to empty the clip today because potentially it ain't no tomorrow. It could be that way. So, man, you got to empty the clip out today, Brady. You got to go with your best stuff. And, man, score points, have balance. Get James Cook involved. He's from Miami, so it's a little personal for him, growing up as a Miami Dolphin fan. And, now he's back home. So, got to feed that dog, man. Let him eat against this Miami Dolphins team. Have that good balance. Get Stephon Diggs involved. You got to go with your dogs in this game. Gotta go with your dogs. We haven't seen Diggs in 5 weeks play the way that we know that he's capable of playing. And it's not on him. It's, up into the offensive strategy to get him involved. It's up to Coach Brady to scheme him open. You know what I mean? That hasn't happened in 5 weeks. That hasn't happened. You got Stephon Diggs is doing bubbles and short routes. You're not posing him as a vertical threat. Now, Dorsey's scheme, man, it was bombs over Baghdad all the time. Now here I don't even think they attempted to throw a bomb. They did one time with Diggs overthrowing when he's wide open, right? So, got to get your dogs involved. And your dogs right now are Stephon Diggs, James Cook, Josh Allen. Everybody else, they have to get in where they fit in at this point. But balance.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So the other question I wanted to ask you was looking at this, right? We went over the scenarios in pre-production, and we look at it. We could play the Steelers, the Texans, or the Dolphins again at the end of all this. All this is a possibility, right? Looking at it, Steelers, I don't know how they keep winning games though. Great defense, right? Mason Rudolph is playing not terribly. And then you got the Texans, who have a young phenom stud. This kid is amazing. Easily the best quarterback in his class. Maybe the best quarterback of his generation, CJ Stroud. And then you have Miami, who obviously we are very familiar with, and depending on how this game goes today, we'll have ample evidence of what we look like versus Miami. Um, so, of those three teams, which one would you rather face for this particular Bills team? Because we all know, styles make fights.
Styles makes fights. So if the Bills become the 2 seed, that means Miami will be the 6 seed. So we'll have to see Miami again. Miami has to come here to Buffalo, and then Houston to be the 7 seed. That makes Cleveland the 5th seed. So there's no other choices. This is going to be a double up game. The Bills will play the Dolphins this week. Then they have to come to Buffalo next week when it's nice and cold. And, I'm quite sure they're going to play those guys, but they're still not going to be 100%. So, I mean, that's just the realistic part of it. You know what I mean? Who would I rather play? Steelers. I would rather play the Steelers if that's a possible matchup. Um, so yeah. But I don't know, it's going to be Miami all over again because they're going to slide down to the 6th spot once the Bills beat them today.
Yeah, but we played the 7th seed if we the 2 seed.
Right. So that would be Houston.
So
the scary ass, that scary ass Texans team.
What I have is the Jags lose, the Bills lose. We are the 7th seed, and we go to Miami. Right? The Jags win, the Bills win. We're the 2 seed, and Houston comes to Buffalo. Which I don't want to play CJ Stroud in that team. I do think that they feast on bad competition a little like Miami. I think that going up against a real playoff caliber team, especially going to Buffalo in your first playoff game, I feel like that would be a little steep. And I don't know if they'd be able to get it done. Now, you asked me this in 365 days. I don't think I would want to see Houston come to Buffalo. I think that they're just going to get better and better every year. And kind of like the Cincinnati, I think that they're on that type of trajectory just because he's so good. And then if the Jags lose and the Bills win, the Steelers come to Buffalo with us being a 2 seed. And I wouldn't mind that either. I think that our defense will absolutely smother Mason Rudolph. And all it would take is just for our offense to not blow it. Because if we being real, looking at the Buffalo Bills, and what's up to Mafia Sports Report, by the way, shout out to them in the building, Buffalo fan base. If Pittsburgh come to town, our defense is really our identity right now. They're our strong point. They are what fuels our success as of right now, right? Whenever because the offense is so hot and cold, like, and even when they are hot, it's because the defense put them in good positions to get there. And then when the offense holds its own and they come out firing on all cylinders, for the most part, really only the Philly game I can think of is when the defense just folded when the offense took care of business. But outside of that, the defense usually takes care of business. So if the offense is able to score points to put the game away, I'm not scared of any of these teams. But I feel like the team I would most want to face is, I would say Pitt. I would say Pitt as well, just because I know that that's the worst quarterback situation of the three. And even Miami, I'm not like, I don't think Tua's a superstar or anything, but he has the weapons are so dynamic that they just raise his level of play, and he does well with them. He obviously has great stats this year. This is going to be a game between two of the best teams in the league, statistically at least. They're both top 10 in everything, right? Bills is 5th in offense. Dolphins are 1st. Bills are 9th in defense. Dolphins are 8th. Bills are 10th in passing. Dolphins are 1st. 7th in rushing. Dolphins are 5th. So top 10 everywhere. Two dynamic offenses, two dynamic defenses. Statistically, it says that the Dolphins edge the Bills out in everything. But I think some of those might just be inflated stats a little bit. And also the Bills, again, are so wishy-washy, hot and cold that, sometimes they're liable to just have 2 or 3, like, really, really bad offensive games, and somehow they're point differential and statistical output is still top 5 or whatever the case may be. So clearly they're putting up, both these teams are putting up gaudy numbers. So 2 high-powered teams, but we look at Miami's identity, right? Not identity, but like their reputation. Last 2 years ago, they had a week 17 opportunity. They lost. They got blown out, actually, I think. Last year, they had a win in opportunity, blown out. And this year, I mean, they are in, but as far as winning, like, you know, you got to figure that part out. You won. You're in the playoffs, but you have the division locked up. You have the division locked up, and they decided to let Tennessee come back and, you know, beat them and give the Bills an opportunity here. And that's just something that you can't do. And now it looks like they're going to have to pay for it. So,
well, the Bills took care of what they were supposed to take care of. They racked off on a winning streak. Again, this magic number is 5. If they can put together a 5th straight win today, they become a 2 seed, and you know they are where they rightfully belong. You know, I had this conversation with Coach McDermott earlier in the week, and you know, basically, yeah, you know, he likes where his team is, the way they just knuckled down and understood the assignment, and you know, they took it one game at a time. Like I said before. They playoffs been started last month. This Bills team has been in the playoffs, you know, last month. This is the championship game right here. Obviously, ultimately, this is the championship game. So now, if you win this championship game, you qualify for the big dance, right? We're gonna put it in March Madness terms, right? You win your championship, the Nets is coming down, right? And then you advance to the big dance. So that's what this is about. Win and you win, lose and potentially you're out. So yeah, you know, it's a good situation to be in. And, you know, I'm cracking up because this is what the Pittsburgh Steelers have on, you know, their page. You know, they got the little, with the little baby right there with the Tennessee Titan hat and Dolphins. So that's who, you know, who they're rooting for today.
I'm rooting for the Titans too, so we got that in common.
Yeah, we got one thing in common, but, you know, they got Miami with the big suit on. So, and this is my thing with this matchup here. Bills, you are pretty much 100% healthy. Miami's offense is going to have a banged up Tyreek Hill.
Well, right? I just to give that a little annotation. We have played with the current iteration that we've had to work with all season. So we're not necessarily healthy, but the players that we don't have, we played without them all season.
Right. So we're healthy because those guys that, you know, that's out for the season, they've been out for the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not nothing that, you know, we got backups just fresh in. You know, they've been playing for about 10 weeks now. These guys has been playing for 10 weeks now. So this Bills team right now.
Coachments have played like all pros.
Right. Right. Your backups are bona fide starters that are healthy. They've been winning these games for you. So again, they will be out there with Cedric Wilson and Smythe as targets for Tua. A-Chain, you're going to get a heavy dose of A-Chain today, whether it's run or pass. So the Bills got to be ready. Terrell Bernard is definitely going to have to have his head on a swivel, making sure he follow A-Chain around because that guy is explosive. So, you know, that game plan is really going to evolve around Tyreek Hill and A-Chain. Then, you know, you're going to get your dumps with the tight end probably over the middle. And, you know, Cedric Wilson is going to get some targets as well. So, yeah, that's what the Bills have to scheme for. And they can do that. They can do that without a problem. And if you lose to those guys with backups out there, I'm going to have a problem with somebody. I'm going to have a problem with somebody on that staff if they lose this game to a banged up Dolphins team at home. That's bad if that's happening. So that's why I'm like, it's no way. The Bills should go in here super duper confident and just take care of business.
Yeah, you have to. This is not the time for mental mistakes, penalties, stupid unforced errors, random fumbles, dumb interceptions. This is not the time for that. Bad drops on 3rd down and your own team. Yeah.
Trying to do too much. Like, let the game come to you, and man, take what they give you. Get the run game established. Please get the run game established. They're gonna put Jalen Ramsey on Stephon Diggs, and hey, so you're gonna see those one-on-one matchups. They ain't gonna be doubling. So I don't want to hear nothing on offense today that they doubled and bracket him. Jalen Ramsey will be on Stephon Diggs all day today. So it's not going to be no doubling going on. So we're going to see how they're going to get Stephon Diggs involved because he's going to be one-on-one.
Diggs could cook Diggs. Diggs can cook Ramsey. He's cooked him before. And every time Josh plays against Ramsey, he not only beats him, but he cooks him at least once for a long touchdown. So they're not afraid of Jalen Ramsey by any stretch of the imagination. They're certainly not afraid of Xavier Henry because they've done him filthy many times. Cole Beasley used to do Xavier Henry filthy. So, I'm confident that we could do it. It's just about getting the ball to our receivers, getting them in open space, and making plays. So this is like we said, this is not the game to be going into the fourth quarter with 15 points. You know what I mean? This is the game where you need to have more touchdowns, more total touchdowns than incompletions. This is that type of game. This is a game where you need to see superstar Josh Allen, superstar Stephon Diggs, superstar Gregory Rousseau, Epinesa. You want to see your superstar Ed Oliver get involved, superstar Terrell Bernard. You know what I mean? We've got so many guys that have just stepped up so tremendously throughout the season and have established themselves as not only good but great players in this league. DaQuan Jones has been playing phenomenally. I mean, sans the injury, without that injury, he'd be an all-pro right now sitting before us, right? And should be an all-pro sitting before us. Terrell Bernard probably not going to get the nod, but could easily, if he had the namesake and a reputation, he'd be an all-pro today, right?
I'm trying to figure out who got over. Was it Roquan Smith? Like, what linebacker?
I don't think all pros come out yet, but for Pro Bowl, he didn't even make it. And
right. That's so who?
The narrative against the Bills all season has been just, Josh's interceptions. It's literally been it. So
numbers is crazy though. So I don't understand what middle linebacker in the AFC had a better season than Terrell Bernard. Haters.
Absolutely, 100%. So big game, and this is an opportunity for all the crap that we've gone through this season, for all of the missed field goals and all of the 12 men on the field and all of the fumbles and all of the drops and all of the interceptions, you can literally go into this game, take the game by the horns, and come out the 2 seed in the AFC. In the AFC that has shown that it's significantly stronger than the NFC because all the top teams in the AFC always wash and demolish the top teams in the NFC. So now you're talking about a power structure and a power scale where this team who has a quarterback that's a turnover machine, a head coach who can't get it done down the stretch, and all this other blah, 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 is the second best team in the league, as far as a power scale goes, right? Going into the playoffs.
Right.
So this is your opportunity. And it's a hell of a lot easier to go into the playoffs knowing, hey, you take the trip. You get on the bus. You pack your bags. You get on the plane. Come here. You know what I'm saying? We'll accommodate you, right? As opposed to packing the bags and going back to Miami, packing the bags and whatever the case may be, going to Arrowhead or whatever, or packing bags and going back to Buffalo and not going back anywhere at all. You know what I mean? So, listen, man, this is literally for all the marbles. You've already had a playoff schedule up to this point. You know what I mean? The last couple games, you've been in the playoffs, essentially. You've had to win them. You've had no choice. So this is just that again to get you prepared for part 2.
Yeah, it definitely does. And this was my thing. Bills get a 2 seed. I don't know why people's not talking about Coach McDermott being the head coach. Coach of the year candidate. Everything you just mentioned, all the injuries and all that stuff they went through, people counted them out. And look at them. They're the 2 seed. But they are sweating Kevin Stefanski and what he was able to do because Oh, he lost Deshaun Watson. If you could have Deshaun Watson, they probably wouldn't even be 11-5 right now with Deshaun.
Yeah, I think they would have lost more games.
You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even be 11-5.
That
was defense.
3 number 1 corners and maybe the best defensive end in the league.
Right, you got the best defense in the league. You know, give Jim Schwartz that award. Don't give it to Stefanski.
Coordinator of the year for sure.
Yeah. You know, I mean, like everything you just said, that definitely should have some sort of coach of the year consideration to make it as a 2 seed. A 2 seed. That means
but then even take what you just said about what the Browns are doing, Stefanski and Schwartz, and having that amazing defense. The Bills' defense is still top 5. You know what I mean? Like the Bills still have a great defense, and we don't have a Myles Garrett. We don't have. Roswell Douglas is playing as good as anybody, right? Mm-hmm. But as far as name goes, you know what I mean? We don't have what the Browns have on defense, you know, and so certainly not the recognition, because anytime we talk about the Bills, it's just about Josh Allen throwing interceptions. Right. All anybody wants. It's like having 42 touchdowns more, like 12 more than anybody else.
Right, but when we look at it, the overall scope of saying that we don't got the type of defense that Cleveland has, we do. You just got to look at the overall scape of it. Give Cleveland the Bills schedule, and then we'll see if they don't dudes like that. Give Cleveland Browns the Bills schedule and see what they happen. If Cleveland didn't play Philly, Cleveland didn't play Kansas City, Cleveland didn't play the Cowboys. You know what I mean? They ain't had that type of schedule that this Bills team had. And they had to win those games in order to stay in the race. And they did that. So, again, they knock off Miami today, and they finish the 2 seed. I want to hear somebody say something about Coach McDermott being coach of the year, with the job that he's done, over the things that he had to go through with his team this year. To finish out a 2 seed, the highest that this Bills team has had in the era, you know, the second time. Then the first time, he should have got coach of the year when they finished out the 2 seed. So if he finished a 2 seed again this year, I want to hear somebody say Coach McDermott should get some sort of coach of the year consideration for the job that he was able to do and get this team from the bottom back to the top with everything they went through early on in the season with the toughest schedule in the NFL.
That's definitely a fair point, because imagine if Dallas would have started off the season 5-5 and then ran off like 9 of the last 10. And McCarthy's the coach of it. Nobody would have cared about, you know, the Chargers almost beating them or the Patriots almost beating them. They would have talked about, well, they won 5 in a row. You know what I mean? Where they won 5 in their last 6, where they won 6 in their, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that's a very fair point, because the Bills get judged a lot harsher than just about any other team, especially when you look at people act like it's such a wonder why Vegas always has the Bills as like a Josh Allen as MVP candidate. You know, the Bills is a Super Bowl favorite, right? They say that because, well, the Bills have been a top 3 team in the league for the last half decade. Like, why are we acting surprised? Josh Allen has been, if not the best quarterback in the league, a top 2 quarterback in the league the last half decade. So, you know what I mean? They haven't won anything. All right, I don't even like that argument, first of all, because A, wins are not a QB stat. B, is Josh Allen the reason that we lost in 13 seconds? Are you going to blame him for that? Is that going to be on his jacket? That's not even a logical, like, you know what I mean? Like, at the point that he lost that, he was the highest rated postseason quarterback in NFL history. And we're going to sit here and talk about, oh, you didn't win a Super Bowl. Well, stop talking to me. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I understand that. But as far as who's better, that to me doesn't, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But anyway, this is an opportunity for the Bills to shut all the haters up, right?
Right.
You know, for all the Kansas Cities and all the Miamis and all of them are going to be underneath us in the standings. And that is a very, very real possibility, especially if 11 of the last 12 games that we played in Miami have anything to do with it. So, big game, man. I got to ask you, we ask every show, I got to ask you, what's the X factor?
We already know what the X factor is, man. We already know what this X factor is. It is James Cook. James Cook got to cook today. You know, we got to fight power over power. They going with A-Chain. We got to go with our guy too. You know, we got to go with our dogs. Miami's going to go heavy A-Chain, heavy Hill. We got to go heavy Diggs, heavy Cook. You know, and then Josh, you do you. And I don't understand how, you know, they make it so damn hard, you know. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, those are my two X factors. I thought I was going to get something out of Diggs last week. You know, we didn't do that. That's why I watched the game carefully. And New England did not double Diggs a lot in that game. They did not. For some strange reason, Josh didn't, you know, he glanced his way, but didn't stay with him. Wasn't patient enough to let plays develop with Diggs. And that's been happening. That's been definitely happening over the past 5 weeks. So kind of strange, but your number one receiver, treat him like a number one receiver. He should not have the same amount of targets or catches as anybody on that team. He should be having double-digit targets every single week. That hasn't happened in a while. And I want to see if it's that damn personal or whatever the hell's going on that y'all cannot feed Stephon Diggs the ball. And right here, y'all in a must-win situation. You have to win. And the best way to win is to get your dogs the ball. You're going to be that damn arrogant or whatever the case may be and do what you've been doing the past 5 weeks and think you're going to have a chance to win against this Dolphins team. I don't think so. And Josh Allen has great games against Miami. So I'm guessing that Diggs is going to be a factor today. In order for Josh to have those type of games that he's been having, especially against Miami, Diggs has been the reason why. You know what I mean? So you got to get this guy involved today. If you don't get this guy involved today, and it's a dogfight, and you so happenly to lose to this team who is depleted with injuries and all of that, it's definitely something.
And it's not better than you to begin with, even healthy.
Right. So they got to take care of business today. You got to get your dogs involved. You got to get your top receiver involved. You got to get your top running back involved. There is a Leonard Fournette sighting. Though. So don't sleep on that. So it's going to be some plays today that we haven't seen all season because Fournette is going to be out there. So hopefully they got that setup play. I know me and Fournette was talking about that. Like, yo, is it a play when you and Cook out there that they fake it to Cook and get you the ball? So maybe we see it today. Maybe not. But, you know, I'm always excited, especially to know when Fournette is suiting up. So, you know, that could be another X factor as well, especially inside that red zone. So, you know, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man. All right, so we'll see some Leonard Fournette today. You'll see a lot of Josh Allen today, hopefully some Stephon Diggs today. And hopefully the Buffalo Bills can get this W because we need it. Again, this is for all the marbles. Everything is on the line here. It's either the 2 seed and you are the top dog in next week's, competition.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's the thing. Now, what if Bills win a 2 seed, they could potentially play on Monday night. I wonder how that works. Like, do they give the team that's the higher seed the option on where they want to play? You know? So that'll be kind of interesting to see how that shakes out. I mean, it's going to be what, Saturday? It's going to be Saturday playoff games. It's going to be Sunday playoff games, obviously, and then a Monday night one. So I don't know how that shakes out. Bills get a 2 seed. I'm banking Monday night playoff game right here at Highmark.
All right, you heard it here from Mookie first. We'll see some Leonard Fournette today, and the Buffalo Bills, provided they beat the Dolphins, will play on Monday night. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us here. Listen, man, big game today. Make sure those of you guys that made the trip out to South Beach, be loud, help those guys out. We need this today, man. This is everything. But we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Coach, take us out.
Bills winning they in. On the table in the playoffs. Do you believe?
Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first to market odds and lines. Now, find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. Bet Online continues to be the top online resource for all sports information, from live in-game betting props and futures. Head to Bet Online today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Now, use our promo code BLEAV50 to receive your 50%. Welcome your bonus on your first deposit. Now, Bet Online is where the game starts.
You didn't get my text?
Huh?
You didn't get my text? I was asking if you would come at 1 instead.
Oh, 1. Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right.
All right.